Hey everyone! Today I'm going to talk about what I've been doing over the last year or two and what I plan on doing this summer and in the months coming forward. Let's go ahead and start out with some things that I've been working with over the last several months here. First of all, I'd like to talk about the readers that I've been going through. And so for the readers, I went through 5 breakthrough level books from Mandarin Companion. And so we've got In Search of Hua Ma here. We've got The Misadventures of Zhou Haisheng. They're the Mandarin Companion readers, if I didn't mention that. And My Teacher is a Martian. We have Xiaoming, Boy Sherlock, and Just Friends. And then we also have my level 1 readers. The level 1 readers here from Mandarin Companion. These ones are 300 level characters and the breakthrough readers are 150 characters. So, you know, it's just one level above here. I got The Prince and the Pauper. I read through that one. The 60-Year Dream, The Secret Garden, and The Country of the Blind, and Emma. So all of these books I've read through now, and I also took a tip from somebody who is in my Chinese study group, and she recommended going to an used bookstore, which is why I'm really happy to say that I actually discovered a whole new series of readers that I find to be really useful. This one is called Four Ancient Beauties, Wang Jiaojun, and it's from Sinolingua, and I really enjoyed these books as well. I just finished this one. So I haven't read the other ones that I got, but I do have some other ones that I got as well from the same company, and I'll show you guys those really quick here. So these are all from Sinolingua. The first one was level 2, which is 500 vocabulary words. I thought it was a really nice step up from the Mandarin Companions that were the level 1, the 300 character level ones. You know, jumping up to 500 words, it was kind of nice. And it was a little bit more challenging, but not too challenging. And then I found these other ones by Sinolingua. So I'll just let you guys see the covers here. And some of them are the level, let's see. Some of them are the level 2 with 500 vocabulary words. And then I did get 2 more that were at level 4 with 1,000 vocabulary words. So I didn't find the level in between. So I don't know, maybe next time I go back to the used bookstore I can find the level in between those 2. But so those are my readers. I really think that reading has helped me to improve in my Chinese reading skills a lot, and also to just comprehend, you know, spoken speech better. Then the next thing I'll show you guys that I did was I completed the Integrated Chinese 2 level textbook. I am now on to the 3rd here, my stack of books. So this is the 3rd level textbook. Right now I'm in lesson 3. I would say that I have not been super productive in my Integrated Chinese because I think I could have gotten a lot further. I've taken a lot of breaks. So I was hoping to already have, you know, been finished with Integrated Chinese, the 3rd level textbook by the time the summer came, but that just did not happen. So instead I've been keeping up my Chinese with these readers a lot of the time. And this one I got from Cheng and Sui. It is called The Sky is Bright with Stars, and this is the one that I use for my Chinese study group. We just do a chapter each time, and it's been really nice because we have a couple of different people who are in my group who are a little bit more advanced than I am. Well, not a little bit, they're a lot more advanced than I am. And so they've been able to help me kind of read through these, but I would say it's pretty nice because sort of that L+1 level. So, you know, understanding most of the content, but then still having to look at the new vocabulary words. I really like these because they show you the vocabulary list at the end of each chapter, so you can go ahead and study them ahead of time, which is what I do before the groups. I'll study the vocabulary and then we'll get together and we'll read the stories, and then we'll answer the questions at the end. And there's even a portion at the end where you can, it's like an essay question or free discussion questions that you guys can look at too. So this is really great for if you're leading a group or participating in a group, maybe suggesting doing a book like this. They do have a couple different levels of this one. And what else was I going to say? Oh yeah. So I was going to say that for these ones, for the Sino-Lingua books, they're kind of nice because if you guys can see here, they have vocabulary words that are in the margins, so you can look them up. But I did notice one difference between the Sino-Lingua books and the Mandarin Companion books is that once they list the vocabulary word, you never really see it listed again, so you do have to flip back and find the number yourself, and make sure that you can, I guess, I think maybe it would be a better idea to just like write them down as you go. That's what I'm doing with this next one actually. I've been writing down the vocabulary words because sometimes I can't remember if there's too many new vocabulary words, I can't really remember them all. So, being able to have a reference point, just like in a notebook, writing down the words, works a lot better for me. And then I will say that at the beginning, they do have like a main characters and places bit where you can, and those ones are always listed throughout the book. I believe they're underlined too. Yeah, they're underlined in black, and then the new words given in the margins are in blue. So this has really been a nice resource. I hope I can find some more of those books too. So yeah, those are my readers. And then I got this one too. I honestly don't totally know what this is, but it looks like a lot of reading practices in here, and they have like some, vocabulary words and such. So I highly recommend going to your used bookstore and seeing if they have a world language section where you can pick up some books in, oh, hello there, where they have some books in other languages, because they might have a lot of good Chinese resources there. Everyone, that was Shiva. And looking forward to what's next, I would say my plans are to start working out of this book here. We have Making Connections. This is primarily reading, and from what I understand, it goes from about, what does it say? Intermediate, I don't know. It's around my level at the integrated Chinese textbooks. I think you can start it with, I think they said like your second year in Chinese if you were in university. So I think it's probably appropriate if you are in integrated Chinese 2 or integrated Chinese 3 level textbooks. So for listening practice, this is, I think, a really good resource. I did a one chapter in it, but then I never really came back, and I think it might be time now to restart with this. And then, to finish the integrated Chinese 3 textbook, that's another goal that I have. Some podcasts that I have been listening to, I wrote some of them down here for you guys. So I've been listening to the You Can Learn Chinese podcast by John Pasden and Jared Turner. And if you didn't know, they are the ones that do the Mandarin Companion books. Obviously, I seem to be a bit of a fan. And I think their podcast is awesome because they talk a lot about different methods to learn Chinese. And a more recent episode that I really enjoyed was one where they were comparing learning Chinese and Japanese. Because I recently started picking up Japanese again. I took it for 1 year in college, and then I just kind of stopped, and I've been on again, off again with Japanese. But for some reason, when I started with Chinese, I discovered that it was a lot easier for me to pick up the Hanzi. And so I know that there's obviously not, it's not one-to-one, but there are cases where I am able to now recognize characters in Japanese and understand the general meaning of what's going on before I, or I should say, instead of having to memorize it from complete scratch. And the Japanese textbooks, I noticed, don't really teach you, they don't really try to teach you the meaning behind the radicals and such, which is something that I really loved about integrated Chinese. But when you are learning kanji, they don't really teach a whole lot of the radicals in some of the books. At least the one that I have is Genki, and they don't teach a whole lot of the radicals. And I think that's the difference for me why Japanese seems to be so much harder for me to memorize things, is because I have to do my own research most of the time for the kanji to figure out what the radicals mean. And so anyway, that's back to the podcast. I really enjoyed the episode that they had about, you know, learning Chinese versus Japanese and, you know, the ins and outs. But they also have tons of other podcasts, obviously only on Chinese. They have anything from like, you know, they'll always interview somebody who has different careers and such. And it's just really interesting to hear from different people from all walks of life who have learned Chinese successfully. And it serves as a great sense of motivation. I think if I'm, you know, just going on a walk or something, I'll usually listen to their podcast, and then I'll usually, you know, come back and feel refreshed again. Like I want to, you know, want to pick up my studies again. Okay, then we have the Chinese Pod Beginner podcast, and then I've started to work into the lower intermediate podcast for Chinese Pod. And the other one is Comprehensible Chinese. This one is awesome. If you don't already know, she has her own YouTube channel. It's called Comprehensible Chinese. And basically she uses comprehensible input to tell stories in Chinese in a way that we can all understand, right? That's comprehensible input. And then she also has her own website called lazychinese.com, where you can, I believe you can see some of the transcripts or something like that. Don't quote me on it. But she does have some good resources there. I just went there for the first time the other day, so I'm not super well versed in the website, but I plan on visiting it more often and going back to her YouTube page as well, because I think she does a phenomenal job at telling stories and, you know, keeping it at that kind of L+1 level for me, which is just amazing. Then for apps, I was using the Chairman's Bow for quite a long time, several months I would say, on a pretty regular basis. And then I decided that, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just don't really feel like using it as much. You know what I think it is? I think that these books that I've been reading, especially these new ones by Sinolingua, I really like these new ones. But really all of the Mandarin Companion and the Sinolingua books, I think they're just a lot more interesting to me than the Chairman's Bow was. But I don't know. I mean, the Chairman's Bow was pretty good too, and honestly, it's an amazing resource because you can hear it read out loud for you, and you can, you know, click on the words to see the ones that you don't know. It's just a great resource. And then I also have been using Skritter quite a bit for the characters. And then Pleco, I use Pleco all the time, especially for things like when I'm reading one of these graded readers. You know, I'll look up words a whole lot, and also for, you know, this other type of reader. So basically a lot of readers. I'm constantly looking things up, or if I want to write an essay for my italki tutor, which I haven't been doing a whole lot of, but that's another case where I'm using Pleco. So Pleco is just amazing. I highly recommend it. You can just, if you haven't seen my video on it, you can just draw the characters that you want to look up, and then you can see all the different, you know, databases that they have for that word. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and I'll be back with more videos soon with more resources that I'm enjoying. Thank you. Bye-bye.